Okay guys, I've had a little bit of feedback about my videos and apparently I sound a little bit depressed, so I thought I'd put on a little bit of music, get my DJ voice on and yeah, get into the exciting bearing stuff. Actually, in hindsight, I find that incredibly annoying. Back to basics, I think. When we have cleaned up the shafts with a emery cloth, this is what I use. It's specific for metal, and it's it's a coarse grit. It's 150 or P150. You have to make sure that these journals are very clean because we'll be heating up the bearings. Never use a hammer or an axe, or you'll see all sorts of weird and wonderful ways of putting on bearings, but as soon as you hit a bearing with a drift or anything like that, you might as well just kiss its life goodbye. So whether you use an induction heater or an oven, just get it up to about 115 degrees Celsius. And that's what it sounds like, or should sound like, when you slip it on the shaft. If you don't have an induction heater or an oven, you can borrow. They do have bearing fitting tools. Still though, I'd recommend pressing them on, as once the inner race of the bearings or the deep groove ball bearings are damaged in any way, what normally happens, well, one of two things: either the bearing collapses and the cage spits out as shrapnel and damages the windings, or it seizes altogether and the outer race spins in the actual housing itself and slogs it out, and that in turn causes the rotor to normally pull with the laminations and once again destroys the insulation and bang. So you can see I've just put the circlip on the drive end bearing. Now I'm just putting a little bit of grease around the internal slinger, the secondary slinger, just in case it catches on the lip of the shaft when you're pushing it in. They can get caught up, so always a little bit of grease on there. And the housing itself should just slip on quite nicely, just like that. Now you can also heat up the entire end plate there, which will make it a bit easier once you allow the bearing to cool down first. So we'll speed this video up a little bit. Here I am just doing up the drive end bearing retainer. And after having wire brushed this plate, I'm just putting a zinc spray on it, and this is to prevent further corrosion just from moisture and condensation, etc. Help prolong its life. This is normally what they look like when they come to me. So that's all, folks, until the next chapter, which I'll be uploading pretty soon with a bit of luck. Cheers, bye.